Hello, everyone. Bud Evans here from the Aim High podcast. Hey, guys, having a great day. I hope it is noon here on the East Coast, and we are really looking forward to this event right now. Here we are sitting here in New Jersey in my basement. And no, I am not Coach Phil Tudor. I am Bud Evans. I am with the Aim High podcast. To give you a little bit of background on me, I've been here a couple of times. My name is Bud. That's actually Howard Evans. I'm also the professor, but I am a retired police officer of 13 years. I'm also a retired United States Air Force military officer of 34 years. I'm the former mayor of Cinnaminson, New Jersey. I'm a real estate investor and licensed agent. I work in the New Jersey and Pittsburgh areas with single family homes. Just got heavily into commercial multifamily as well. I'm a real estate investment coach for Tariq El Musa. For him, I teach the BRRRR method, commercial multifamily analysis, property management, velocity and infinite banking. We run the entire gambit. I have underwritten about $100 million in deals. I've created a personal real estate portfolio of several $1 million over the past 4 years, which allowed me to retire from the Air Force a few years before I was eligible to collect my pension. But that'll happen in about 6 months. I'm the president of Aim High Properties. We own 8 subordinate companies ranging from property management to, no kidding, a hair salon. And I've been investing for about 4 years in both active and passive methods. Guys, that's a lot to take in. And you know what? We're about 4 minutes into this presentation. It's coincidental that we're talking about time management and time blocking. So let's go right into it. Guys, I'm going to tell you this flat out. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Everyone says that time is money. That's absolutely trash. It's absolutely wrong. Time is not money. That's the poor way of thinking about what time is actually valued at. We can put a dollar amount on our time, but here's the deal. When we're looking at the time value, when we start talking about time is money, we're talking about an hourly wage. Okay. That's a W-2 thought process. Guys, I wish I had my guest here today. Coach JP was supposed to be with us. He is a coach and mentor of mine. He's also an investor and a member of South Jersey REIN. Here's the deal, guys. He will tell you, as I will tell you, time is not just money. Time is everything. It's one commodity that cannot be bought, but it can be sold. You can give somebody your time. You can charge them an hourly wage, but you can never buy it back. One of the reasons that I got involved in real estate was specifically this. I wanted to make sure that I would be able to have my time back. Here we go. What am I talking about? I'm talking about being able to walk away from my W-2 and do what I want, when I want, where I want, with whomever I want. That is the true value of time. It is everything. Without time, you cannot do a W-2 job. Without time, you cannot spend time with your loved ones. Guys, you're all adults in this room. Here's the deal. You know you get one first kiss, one first embrace, one first time you tell someone that you love them. How much would you pay to have that over and over again? The answer is it's invaluable. Time, you cannot place a value on it. However, we do, and we call it cash. We call it money. Now, here's what I'm going to lay on you guys. This is the deal. You can make a determinable figure of what your time is actually worth. So let's put this into perspective. If you are making $100,000 per year, and this is the math, I'm sorry, the MAF, I'm not very good at it, but I do it a lot because that's what we're in. We're in real estate and we do numbers and MAF, the math. So at $100,000, if we take that and we divide it by 52 weeks, that's about $1,923 and some change per week. If we divide that by 40 hours, you're making about $48 an hour. Okay, terrific. Let's put that into a perspective that we can all realize and hopefully grasp. What do you believe your time should be worth. And we can work backwards from that. If you're on here, I want you to do this. We're going to go over how I block time and how I make more money because I block time. But what I'm looking at right now is this. Let's say you want to make $1 million a year. I know, bud, you're talking crazy, right? That's, oh my goodness, $1.2 million a year, $100,000 a month. Is it feasible? Why not? Absolutely, it's feasible. If you're sitting on this call right now, you know that you're in real estate and you know that it is a distinct possibility that you can break those numbers. You know that with a few rental properties or commercial multifamily properties or short-term rentals, you know for a fact that you can replace your W-2 income and give you back what you've lost with that W-2 job. So let's look at that. Let's say we get those rental properties and we'll backtrack as much as we can and get us to that number. So let's look at $1 million per year. If you were just to work a regular 40-hour work week, a W-2 job at $1 million per year, we're going to backtrack and go backwards with that. And we're going to divide that by the 52 weeks. Now we're at $19,230 per month, per week, $19,230 per week. And if we put the same amount of time in that 40 hours, our time is worth just about $481 per hour. Okay. Now that we've grasped that, I want you to put a value on what you can do, how you can replace yourself if it's not worth that money. Here's what we're saying. What I'm saying is this. If your goal is to achieve that $1 million per year mark and get that $480 per hour, I know this is going to sound oversimplified, but here's the deal. Get somebody else to do it. If it's anything less than $480 per hour, it's a benefit to you. It's a cost benefit. If you look at the cost benefit analysis, $480 an hour is a lot of money. Separate yourself from that. Let somebody else do that task. Move on yourself. I start with an executive assistant. That's my first thing. My executive assistant helps me set my time. He helps me set my schedule. We're going to go into time blocking here momentarily. I'm giving about 30 minutes overall to get through this and then actually get into the breakdown of time blocking, the breakdown of what an executive assistant can provide for you. And then we're going to go from there and show you exactly how to replace yourself in your calendar and make a lot more money than you're currently making per hour, if that makes sense. And I hope it does. So, okay. I do not know how to get this ticker off. We will be here in a few seconds. Awesome. That's great. Except we're already here. So let's look at the comments. I'm trying to figure out how to share my screen. Here's the deal, guys. It's live, right? So we've got Coach Phil, who usually runs these things for me, and he pushes the buttons. He's got those magic fingers. I'm trying to share my screen so I could show you guys this, and I just found it. Excellent. Here we go. In case you thought that I was, magically doing numbers in my head, I'm using a calculator. So let's go into, all right, magic of Google Calendar. Here's what we're looking at, guys. I know Coach JP says Googlefy. I'm going to go a little bit. We're going to Googleize the standard. Okay. So when we're talking about a calendar, if it's not in my calendar, it does not exist. Okay. This is a weekly breakdown for me. Now, I have 8 companies. I just said that in the beginning of the show. Every day I start off with me time. First thing I do is break out. I hit the gym. I get done with the gym. That's a couple of hours. I meditate for a little bit. I hit the showers. I get done with that. I've got to travel back home. I've got 11 o'clock meetings. First thing I do is I make sure I have plenty of family time scheduled into the calendar. Sundays and Mondays are usually the days that I don't do anything. Sundays is like a hard stop, right? Not only is it football season, let's go Eagles, but it's also my personal family time. So Sundays are the days where we all get together and we try to have a good time together. Mondays, kind of ramping myself back up for the beginning of the week. And we start doing, in this particular case, this week, I have couple of courses going on here. I have my bookkeeper meeting on Monday, some admin stuff. I've got direct outreach for my coaching program. I've got to follow up on a call with an individual. One thing you'll notice in here is I've got a few things in here that may come across as a little strange. I schedule my time to check email. Okay. Why? Email's trash. How much spam do you get in a day? How much time do you waste going through those emails in a day? If you allow it to, and guys, you do this with your W-2, how many times do you find yourself sitting on Outlook or Google or whatever it is, whatever amalgamating system that you use to answer emails from your boss, that you just sit there and you find yourself staring blankly into a screen? Get over it, right? Here's the thing. One thing that I learned from the 4-hour work week is a couple of things. First one is get somebody to do it for you. That's first, right? We're going to go over to the executive assistant job description here in a little bit and how you can simplify your life. And guys, that's going to be magic. That is absolute gold. But here's the deal. All right. I answer my emails 2 times a day, 15 minutes a day. And if it's not done in 15 minutes, it doesn't exist until the next day. There are a few things that are happening behind that. And here it is. Ron, my assistant, everybody needs a Ron. If you watch the podcast or listen to the podcast or watch the YouTube channel, here's the deal. I have an assistant. His name is Ron. He is a walking advertisement for the company that he works for, which is Reva Global. I do have an affiliation with them, so I'm just putting that out there, but I know a lot of friends use them, so I'm just throwing that out there. But Ron is a walking advertisement for that organization. He keeps me on track, and we do that with several different ways. First one is he Googleifies my calendar. He goes through all of my emails. He looks at all of the spam. God bless him, because it's stupid. If you are into fitness, you probably get 30 to 40 emails a day talking about how they can make your body absolutely perfect with just 5 minutes and 6-minute abs or whatever the heck that crap is. He also goes through here and he schedules and makes sure that I'm on board with everything. Guys, my last week, I cannot even tell you how many hours I actually put into my work week. Why is that kind of a sacrilege? Here it is. I can put an hourly rate on each one of these blocks if I choose to, but let's go through my average day. I wake up in the morning about 5:30. I'm out of bed at 6. First thing I do is I do the Hal Elrod Miracle Mornings process. I sit in silence for a minute. I do affirmations. I do visualizations. I run out and I exercise. Then at the end of every day, I reflect. And then, guys, I have a journal sitting here on my left. I write everything down at the end of every day. If it's not in there, it's on the left-hand side. It's on the left-hand side of my nightstand, and I'll use notes. Okay. I'm a Mac guy, so I'll use the Apple Notes application, and I'll make sure that I have things planned and programmed out for the next day. I set 3 major tasks for each day, and then everything else is kind of subordinate. What are the big rocks that I need to tackle? What's the big domino that you need to put forward to get every other domino to fall into place? Well, okay, terrific. You figure those out, and guess what? You're probably going to be on your way to success. You do that 7 times a day. That's 21 goals that you've established for the week, 21 goals that you're going to achieve throughout the week, and then you knock those out. If you have Ron behind you, he's scheduling other things into your calendar, like podcast with me and JP Kilduff on Wednesday at 11:30 in the afternoon. That'll be coming out in a couple of weeks. I touch every company after my gym time, after my me time. We go into meetings. Okay. I have a meeting on Tuesdays with Ron, who is my number 1 right-hand guy. And that's not the only time we talk, but that is our established weekly meeting where we break down our goals and our expectations for the rest of the week. Then we go into, I have another organization that I belong to, which is Homeschooled by Tariq Al Musa. And we have a meeting every Tuesday at 12 o'clock. Immediately after that, I had a phone call with another individual, Joe Tedesco. He's a lender in the area. He's also a real estate professional. I jump into Aim High. I do processes for that particular company. Maybe it's a video edit review. Maybe it's part of the podcast. Then we go into all of the rental companies. We have 3 of them right now. We have B Real Properties. We have Code 3 Properties, and we have AAA Second Street. One's personal, two are partnerships, one is commercial. That's Second Street. Everything else, guys, happens throughout the week. 11 o'clock every day. I guarantee you that I'm touching some section, some division within our parent company, which is Aim High. We are hitting, whether it's acquisitions, marketing, that's on Friday. So I have lead generation, which is Wednesday. Acquisitions is on Thursday. Marketing is on Friday. We have a group call every 4 weeks where everyone gets involved. We do kind of an EOS format with that. If you don't know what that is, Gina Wickman, pick that up, check it out. Great system. If you want to pay the fees, that's great. If you don't want to pay the fees, that's great. Read the book, set yourself up for success with that. Immediately after that, we do coaching and consulting. And from 3 o'clock until I close my day every week, I do consulting. I have my scheduled dinner time at 5 o'clock every day. Fridays at 5, I shut it down. My wife comes home. We do date night. Saturday, Penn State game, noon, right? Today it's 3:30. I've got that. Unfortunately, I don't have that blocked off today. I have a couple of calls that I've got to deal with, which is great because these guys are highly motivated and I enjoy coaching. Immediately after that, once we get done at 5 o'clock, I'm blocked off again. I've got family coming down from New York and boom, there goes my week. My family knows that if they're trying to get in touch with me before 5 p.m., it's probably not going to happen because we are rocking and rolling from like 6 o'clock in the morning until like 5, 7 o'clock at night. Okay. So, all right. That's what time blocking looks like. Now let's go over a few of the parameters and a few of the rules. So here's how I do it. If it is like me time, there are certain people, and guys, I don't know if you're familiar with this or not, but Apple has these focus things, right? I'm not a Samsung guy. Sorry, guys, I don't do Android, but I'll tell you that Apple has this great program called Focus, and you can set your focus. I can't even tell you how many. I have coaching, personal, gym, family, do not disturb, sleep. There are certain people that are allowed to call me during those times. There are certain texts that are allowed to get through during those times. If you set that up, it might take you 3 hours total to get those things squared away, but it will save you a lot of aggravation in the long run. So please check it out. Set up your own systems and get that time blocked. This way, here's what you can do. Get your acquisitions. Now you know you're squared away. You've got your acquisitions period of time. You're going out to do walkthroughs or whatever it is that you're trying to do for 2 hours. If you set that up for 2 hours a day, you've just set yourself up for success if you do that consistently and take massive action each block of 2 hours every day. If that's exactly what you plan to do, make sure you do it. Do not let yourself get out of it. Do not let yourself get out of it. Now, you're going to see a few overlaps in here, okay? Like the Aim High Code 3 bookkeeping that I had on Tuesday, because instead of Monday, because someone got sick, which pushed Ron and I had our discussion at 10 o'clock instead of 11 o'clock. So be flexible, but never give up on the actual goal. Stay within the goals. When that alarm goes off in my head, on my computer, on my laptop, and I hear it, I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing because I'm also tied into my watch. Okay. A little bit, maybe it's a little bit too much. Maybe it's not. I'm trying to simplify things as much as humanly possible. But when we're starting out, if you just do, like, for example, we're doing direct outreach. You know what I'm doing during direct outreach? I'm calling agents. I'm calling wholesalers. Roland J, if you're on this call, buddy, hey, I'm looking at people that I haven't spoken to in a few days, weeks, months, and rotating those 3 people throughout the week. I reflect that in my journal at the beginning of each week, and then I make those calls throughout the week. Okay, but how does this save me time, bud? How does this save me time? How does this make me money? All right. If I tell you, hey, dude, you have 1 hour every day to make 1 phone call. If I tell you, hey, dude, you've got 1 hour every day to make 3 phone calls. What if you get 5 in? Now you have leads coming in. You have prospects that are turning into leads. You're following up on those. You're constantly running. You're constantly wheeling. You continuously progress. You continuously, and then the wheel starts to roll. Okay. Picture a boulder that you're pushing up to the top of the hill and you're about to hit the crest of the hill, right? The very top of the hill. What's on the other side? It's probably a downhill roll. Once that starts to roll, man, you start picking up steam. Continue on the process. Now, here's the big thing. And here's what I'm going to tell you. This is the secret. Once you start progressively increasing the volume of your calls, leads, prospects, you start doing everything that you're doing as an entrepreneur. You're a solopreneur when you're starting. Everybody knows that, right? We've got marketing, acquisitions, lead generation, all of that stuff is me, right? That's me. That's how we start. That's how we progress. If I'm calculated and I know exactly what I'm doing at exactly every point of the day, I can take that $1 million mark and I can roll that backwards. So let's talk about what we're talking about. Oh, all right. How do we stay organized? There are several different processes, several different programs. Some of them are free. Some of them are not. Hey, Mario. Hey, guys. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. All right. So several different ways you can keep organized. There are a whole bunch of different things that you can do. And I'm going to show you a few of the tricks that I use to keep myself on track. One of them, well, we use Slack for in-house communications. All right. Now, we also use a program, and this is a tasking software. So when it's not just you, let's say you're a husband and wife team, Kimmy Crombie, and you are involved in short-term rentals and your long-distance planning. So let's look at that. This is a program called Asana. Guys, there is sort of a slight charge for this, and feel free, jump into it. If it's free, awesome. Other software like Trello, similar, very similar. Podio is another one. All these like CRM type systems that you can use. I like this one because it keeps me on task. And let me show you this. Let's say we're looking at BRRRR properties, because I am a BRRRR guy. That's what I teach. That's what I do. I'm very comfortable with it and I'm good at it. So that's what we do. Let's go over the last thing that I did here, which was 33 Oak. We started out, and guys, with this type of program, you can, depending on how you're oriented, right? If you're a list type of person, a checklist type of person, if you're I like drag and drop, so I'm the boards guy. I like this versus a timeline where you can have a calendar, you can program that out for you. And this is not a commercial. This is just how I do things. If you're into Gantt charts, my engineers in the room, here's the deal. If you're into a Gantt chart, by all means, jump on this, set your dates, and then progress that way. The thing that I like about this is I have several members on my team. I can assign one thing here. I request a draw from, I'm making the offer, right? So I'm going to request a loan from this particular organization. We're going to send a scope of work out to my contractor and make a determination on what's the rehab estimate on this. We're going to create the new project, which, hey, we're going to change this. We're going to do this, right? We're going to create this board, and we're going to start moving things left and right. Systems like this will keep you on track and save you a lot of time in the back end. It up front, guys, it's going to take you some time. You know what you do? Put it on your Google Calendar for 2 hours. Take a little chunk every day, right? Set your goal. I want to have my BRRRR template done. And maybe you go in here and you do a list and you start going, okay, well, what do I need to make an offer? All right, before I make the offer, you know what I need to do? I need to set up the walkthrough. I need to reach out to my contractor and maybe have him walk through the property. I need to do a rehab estimate. I need to make sure that the BRRRR analysis is going to be right. If you have a bigger pockets calculator, that's great. I personally use a Google Sheet that I use in my consulting program. I give that to my students as well. When we do that, you set those standards, right? You need that scope of work. You need to create the new project. Then you create your purchase agreement. If you have a transactions coordinator, maybe, right? I'm going to throw a plug, Aaron Capriati from Abstract Title. Definitely recommend them. They're awesome. I know that there are a few here as well. We have Safe House Title as well. They do the same thing. They also have a transactions coordinator that we've used. So we're sending them the documents. They're going to process all the paperwork and get it going. I use a particular lender who I watched, no kidding. We were closing a refinance on one of our deals. So buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. Well, we were at the refinance portion. Okay. And we pulled out $13,500 on Friday, which was equity, which is tax-free. Yay, BRRRR. All right. So here we go. Now, once that happens, I'm watching 31 emails ping on the right-hand side of my eye. Okay. I'm just watching on the right-hand side on my monitor as emails are going and going and going. I have Ron monitoring that. I've got the lender monitoring that. The title company is monitoring that. My insurance agent is monitoring that as everything is happening. And I'm not doing any of it because it's all tasked out. So what does that mean? It means I have time to do what I like to do. Talk to you guys on a Saturday afternoon, or go and do my podcast and interview people and network. Sorry, that's my dog. So it happens, right? It's live. So we set that up and we establish a way that we can continue to progress and continue to bring other people in to help us and build our team. So once we get into that, we can start then setting reminders. And guys, you can do this in Google Calendar as well. Similarly, you can go over here in Google Calendar and you can create tasks. Okay, here are a few examples. This is videos popped up, or my weekly top picks, or whatever this might be. These are emails that I have populating. So they're going to jump in here. A lot of this stuff is trash because we linked it to my Gmail account to see what would happen. And we're just watching the feed go to see if there's an alternate method. But what could it do if I don't have it linked to a bunch of spam email in the Bud Evans 54 account? Here's what you could do. You could set up your tasks if you have a team in your Google workspace, and you can have your team members going in here and keep track of all of their tasks. That's the other great thing about using a program like Asana or Trello or Podio or something like that. They're getting tasked. They're getting notified that they have a task due on that date. And that's something that you can work out. All right. So guys, there's a lot of things that you can do to create a better control of your time. All right. Now, the one thing I'm going to tell you is this. I am going to, and guys, we got 14 people on this, right? 11 now. We just had a couple drop off. Well, they're going to miss it because I'm going to drop in the chat here in a minute. I'm going to drop a link to stuff I talk about. It's called Stuff Bud Talks About because I'm a simplistic guy and that's what I do. Within this Google Sheet is an EA, an executive assistant job description. Okay. If you want to replace yourself within your business, the first thing that you need to do is have someone else take over all of the things that you really shouldn't be doing in order to keep you on time. So when I say that, I'm talking about this. Why are you surfing Google or surfing Facebook or surfing Instagram or watching TikTok videos during your 2-hour period of direct outreach to agents and wholesalers? Right? Don't do it. Just get out there and save yourself the aggravation and create that opportunity to create that wealth so that you can bring that back to yourself and eventually stop trading time for money. Here we go. So these are things that I talk about periodically, whether it's consulting or coaching or whatnot. I'm not going to go through all of them. The one thing that I do want to show you is this. When we go down here to executive assistant job description, how to hire an executive assistant. Guys, these are living, breathing documents that I'm bringing to you in South Jersey REIN, specifically because Aim High Properties is a member of South Jersey REIN. And at some point in time, the Aim High Properties logo and the Aim High Network of Real Estate Investors, or Aim High REI, will be partnering with South Jersey REIN to bring you guys more of a nationwide network and give you advantages that other organizations do not have. And again, this is a free membership. Okay. We do not charge. If you want to pay for advanced things like the boot camps that we're going to be having or the webinars that we're going to be having, that'll be coming up. Again, January 13th through the 15th, we will be having a hybrid webinar talking specifically about rental properties. We will be going from the economic outlook in 2023, what interest rates are expected to do, through the BRRRR strategy, through property management. Coach Phil will be talking about the differences in rehab between flips and rental properties. We're going to have someone talking about short-term rentals. That's Jen Josie. Check her out. She's on the podcast. She's going to go over her first flip and how she got into real estate. We're going to go into midterm rentals. We have a special guest that's going to be coming up. And right now we're working on Amy Majori. I cannot confirm that she's going to be showing up, but that's how to raise private money. Okay, guys, that's all going to be happening in January. Until then, I'm going to be dropping this in here. We're going to go right into this with how do I replace myself by hiring an executive assistant? So managing communications and establishing my goals for their email or my calls and my voicemails and how they're going to attack those and how they're going to keep me on track by taking that information, dropping it into our communications platform with a green dot, yellow dot, or red dot, right? Green dot is, hey, get this when you can. Yellow dot is, hey, you might want to take a look at this. Red is, yo, you need to get this. And that will bleep, bleep. It will make a little cricket sound on my watch, make a little cricket sound on my phone, and it'll make a little cricket sound on my laptop. So I know it's really important. They're responsible for Slack, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. They do all my posts. Slack is the communication software that we use. Guys, if you've seen my daily shorts, if you've seen my YouTube videos, we have a marketing company that we have. We're doing that. They're pulling that kind of stuff aside. If you've seen the advertisements for the January event, that is also part of Second Street Marketing. But that's all part of things. That's all things that I would have had to have done myself last year until I started these companies, right? So get yourself organized, bring somebody else in and have them help you organize, teach them how you do it, and then let them do it, right? So you're doing hey, I'm going to show you, then you're going to show me what I showed you, and then I'm going to watch you do it and make sure that you do it right. All right. Calls come in daily. Great. Students, if they respond, if I get a call from a student, whether it's a text message, which Ron can see because my Apple is integrated with my open phone. So those populate. He can check that out. Expenses and information. Guys, don't do this one right away. Okay. I'm going to flat out tell you, there are people who will take advantage of you. Depending on what organization you're going through, your finances are a very, very hazardous place to let somebody in. So establish trust with that, bring them into your circle eventually over the course of time, realizing that, certain things need to be seen and done, and then have them. Ron does my banking statements, submits those to my bookkeeper. He balances my credit card accounts for each property has its own credit card when we're doing rehabs. So that's all the kind of stuff that he did. I just went on a trip to Greece. If anybody in here is a friend of mine on Facebook and you're following me, you know that I went because, hey, we can now, right? So I just took a 3-week trip / cruise, Barcelona, Sicily, the Greek islands, Turkey, and then back to Athens where we spent a few more days and then we flew home. So taking that into consideration, you can have them book that for you as well. If you feel like going to Thailand, you might, and your VA is from the Philippines, they might have some input that maybe you're not aware of, right? So errands and gifts. Guys, if you're going to take care of other people and you want to keep yourself in the front of their mind, you may want to consider having little trinkets, whether it's swag this way, aim high, send somebody an aim high polo shirt or an aim high t-shirt. We have a grunt style affiliation. They have one that says aim high. It's got an American flag on it with the grunt style patch on that. We'll throw those out there, that kind of thing. Get into people's minds. Your virtual assistant or your executive assistant can do that for you. Creating content, just had to stand up a new property management company. What we did was we took that and sent that out to there are several different companies, Fiverr, Upwork. We used Upwork in this case. Reached out to an American primary English speaking person to watch a series of videos, transcribe those videos into bullet point format, and then we created checklists, processes, and procedures with hyperlinks in Google Documents that take us to actual documents in another folder so that we can do leasing up, security deposit tracking. We can put things out online for advertisement like apartments.com and whatnot. We use Calendly to book calls. Ron has access to that. He's also got access to my Zoom account. So one of two ways people can get booked in, and we do that. Again, as I previously stated, Ron has access to my finances. There are certain things that he can do and certain things that he can't do. I also have a bookkeeper. I had a bookkeeper who was a virtual assistant. We moved into a bigger organization because we got bigger, we grew, and I needed more tax code understanding than the virtual assistant had. All right. We have a Google Sheet. The Google Sheet is broken down into tabs. Each tab is pretty simple: personal, family, travel, finance, social media. Guys, I'm a foodie. I love to go out and eat. If you guys if you want to drop into the chat here and let me know, if you guys know of any really good restaurants in South Jersey, I'd be more than happy to check that out. I'd really appreciate it because we love going out. We go to a family restaurant in Cinnaminson called Sweetwater Bar and Grill. Check them out. Family-owned organization. They're fantastic. And Whistler's and Jug Handle too, also in Cinnaminson. All right, specs. Guys, this is what we did. We set out, this is what I'm exactly looking for. I want them to do this because of this. Then we went into, in the first 90 days, we're going to screw this up. We're going to make mistakes until we stop making mistakes. It's kind of the military way. Told you I'm a retired Air Force officer, right? So we make mistakes until we stop making mistakes, and then we come together, progress, and continue to move as one. So the next thing we do is we established our one-on-one meeting. Every week, we're going to go over a couple of different things. First is, what did we have left over from last week? So old business. What do we have coming up this week? So new business. Then we open it up to basic comments like, hey, this thing that we have, these goals that we have this week, in order to do that, hey, we forgot to put this, and this in there. Great. Okay. And we'll have a comment section for the old business too. Did we get that done? What was the benefit? What was the cost? What things could we have done better? What did we do really well? That type of thing. And then we'll close the meeting. It's just a simple Zoom call, and then we'll retain those. I use a program that organizes and cuts and pastes the words. It'll transcribe it for me, which is awesome because I can pop that in there and then review that, and then really quickly drop it to acquisitions if they need to know about it, or lead generation if they need to know about it, or Ron, if he wants to follow up on something, has access to that document as well. And then we both review the calendar for the following week. All right. Beginning of day, midday recap. I talk to Ron just about every day at about 10 o'clock over the phone. He uses open phone. I use my regular phone, and seamless integration with the two of them. So we're having a conversation on my way home from the gym from about 10 to 10:30 roughly, prior to either our meeting or another meeting at 11 o'clock, which gives me just enough time to come in, grab myself a nice cup of coffee, maybe some bite to eat, and then sit down and get ready for the day. All right, guys, I'm going to drop this into the chat right now. This is open. Anyone with the link can view it. Because if you are in this, you are a member of South Jersey Rian. I am giving this to you. I will ask that you do not share this outside the organization. If you do choose to, it's not going to kill me, right? So if you do choose to, go ahead. But I would use it sparingly because there are a lot of people who are going to jump into this and make big mistakes. And I'll put that into perspective. I was in California on Sunday. We had a great meetup with Tariq El Musa. We had a networking event on Sunday. I had one of our students who reached out and said, hey, just want to let you know, I'm getting into real estate. And I said, terrific. What are you doing? Are you a member of Homeschooled? Well, no, I just partnered with somebody that I only met 3 months ago, immediately hired 3 virtual assistants. We have Podio, and we're waiting for the leads to drop into Podio. But okay, terrific. After I said, okay, great. First, I had to pull Podio out of them because they didn't know originally. They had to text somebody to find out what CRM they were actually using. The second thing was, great. What's your process for when those leads come in? Well, we haven't figured that out yet. Oh, but they're starting Monday. That was Sunday. We're starting Monday. Okay, great. So now you have leads that are going to be generated by 3 virtual assistants with no lead management, dropping into a CRM that you've never used and you barely can remember the name, with a partner that you've met 3 months ago. You may want to stop everything tomorrow and save yourself the 30 grand you're going to lose in the first couple of months. Okay. What I'm telling you is, if you give this information out to people who are not educated, not in a program like South Jersey Rian, they're going to potentially use some of this, and they're going to jack it up, and they're going to wind up costing themselves some money. And then they might look at you like, hey, dude, what did you do to me? Okay. So please share sparingly, and definitely vet the people that you're going to share this with, because we don't want to make enemies. This whole business, this whole industry, this organization in and of itself is collaboration over competition. Okay. And we're going to bring this to you more and more often. Guys, we're really looking forward to blowing this thing up over the next several months, starting with the event that we're going to have in January. I really hope that you're all going to be there. Hopefully, we're going to be able to do some Zoom calls instead of just Facebook Lives, because this is just me talking, which, as you can tell, I'm not too worried about. But I'd rather have that interactive communications, because everything here is delayed when I'm looking at the chat in this little system that they use. So, guys, I'm really looking forward to January. I hope you got a lot of value out of today. My name is Bud Evans. Hope we brought you some value. Take massive action. And until then, Aim high.